and welcome. In this video, I'd like to discuss all the lore that we got with this chapter, as well as the expectations that have been set for the next generation. So with that out of the way, let's get down to this review of chapter 957. So first, I have to talk about GARP's fight with the rock pirates. Now, we found out that the reason GARP became the hero is because he single-handedly beat down the rock pirates, which it wasn't actually single-handedly because, drum roll please, he teamed up with Roger. So we already have this very nuanced story of how the world we find ourselves in was set up. And I thought it was really interesting that GARP had to team up with Roger for two reasons. One, that could be some foreshadowing of what will happen with Luffy, because personally I see a lot of similarities between the leader of the rock pirates and Blackbeard, because they're both crews of just the worst kinds of people, the strongest criminals, and they really don't particularly like each other. They just recognize that their leader is one of the strongest, so they're going to hang out with him. And maybe down the line, we could see Luffy team up with Kobe, maybe Smoker, maybe Fujitora. I think that would be pretty cool. But we'll find out about that later. The other thing that made this interesting for me was that this happens all the time in the real world. All the time in the real world, the government in whatever country finds itself in a difficult position trying to deal with very difficult criminals and especially organized crime. And if you haven't seen the movie Black Mass or read the book, in the US, specifically in New England, we had a situation last like maybe 50 years with the criminal Whitey Bulger. He was a big crime boss in the city of Boston, and the FBI teamed up with him to take down all the other organized crime, and the FBI was like, yay, we took him down. But then Whitey Bulger became one of the most wanted criminals in the United States. Now we see in One Piece, Roger teamed up with GARP to take down the rock pirates. Yay, we took down the rock pirates. Now Roger is the most infamous pirate, and he still is, thanks to the government. So we see that the worlds of pirates and the government aren't completely isolated. They're very intertwined, which I think helps build to the idea that this is not a black and white world of morality. One thing we learned about GARP, which we probably could have inferred already, was that the reason he's never been promoted is because he doesn't want to be like the celestial dragon's puppet. And I think that makes perfect sense for his character, because although you might still be bitter about Marineford with Ace, you can't deny that he's a different kind of Marine. He doesn't subscribe to the conventions of the world government. He has a true sense of right and wrong, and he's not the kind of Marine to just bow down to the world order. He's just there to beat pirates and to beat bad people, which I love that we have all the D's and the family members of the monkey family tied together, because this is exactly what Luffy would be like if he was a pirate. He could care less about the world government. He just wants to protect his friends and beat bad people. So, again, we're shown this idea that sometimes pirates and Marines aren't so different. There's good Marines and bad Marines. There's good pirates and bad pirates. And I think this chapter does a really good job of showing just how blurry those lines can be. But with all this new lore and the hint from the past, we're seeing that This battle in Wano is being so hyped up. I love the line from Akainu, when the rains of disaster come, they pour, which is absolutely true. We have the alliance of Kaido and Big Mom, and just when all of our friends in Wano got their crap together, Kaido gets a bunch more allies and the numbers, and the odds are stacked in his favor. So it really is pouring. This battle will inevitably change the world order. If you don't believe that, just look at all the bounties we were given. So we find out that in the ranking of Yonko, from bottom to highest, it goes Blackbeard, then Shanks, then Big Mom, and then Kaido. So you could argue it's a little subjective, which bounties are always a bit subjective because that's what I like about bounties. It's not just about power, it's how much of a threat are you to the world government. However, we got 2 more bounties, which was the bounty of Whitebeard and Roger. Now, the bounties of Big Mom and Kaido were not that far away from Whitebeard and Roger. Shanks a little farther away than those two, and Blackbeard has a way to go. So what we're seeing is the possibility that if Kaido and Big Mom win this war, well, first of all, if they even stay allied. If they stay allied, we'll play devil's advocate. If they stay allied and they win this war, they could potentially surpass the bounties of Whitebeard, and maybe, if this is as major as we're hyping it up to be, they could possibly, at least one of them, reach or surpass the bounty of Gol D. Roger. And I think this does an excellent job of hyping up Wano more than it's already been hyped up, because we already see the rains of disaster are coming. But on top of that, not only were we excited to see what would happen if Luffy wins, now there's so much more at stake, because if Big Mom and Kaido win this war, they could be the new Pirate King or Pirate Kings. They could be the new world order. They could surpass what everyone has been holding up as the King of Pirates. So Wano is definitely going to be the best arc because there's so much at stake, and the results that come after will completely change the conventions of One Piece. One last not so subtle detail of this chapter was the SSG, or the Special Science Group. Now, like everybody else, I was confused about the abolition of the warlords, because why the heck would they get rid of some of the strongest pirates in this universe? But now we see, which a lot of people were probably inferring with Vegapunk, we have the SSG, the Special Science Group. Now, I like that it was just sort of dropped, because we have no idea what the government could have. It has to be so special that it's on par or even exceeds the strength of having the 7 warlords. So it could be that they have some upgraded Kumas. It could be that, I don't know, maybe they built some technology like Caesar had, the Land of Death. Who knows? So there's a lot of speculation that could be done here as to what the heck they have that could justify them finally getting rid of the, as they put it in this chapter, the poison of the world government. But I'm definitely interested to see, because it could prove to be one of the biggest threats that we've seen to Luffy and his success. Also, we didn't get a continuation of Beji's story, but we did get a beautiful color panel, which I just have to say, to all you self-righteous jerks on Twitter who are insinuating that if you read the scans, you're not supporting the official release, shut up. I just bought the Color Walk panel book. Beautiful. If you follow me on Twitter, I talk about how Oda has one of the most simple yet impossible to copy art styles, and I love his art. So here you go, supporting the official release, reading the scans. So shut up. I just gave Oda, not Shueisha or not Shonen Jump, Oda, direct to his Amazon account, just gave him $30 or $40 for this book. So shut up. I support the official release. And that does it for this review. I thought we got another phenomenal chapter, but let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed what I had to say, make sure to like the video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see my future reviews. Reach out to me on Twitter so I can hear your thoughts. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon.